I'm excited to introduce our today's guest, a distinguished Puerto Rican physical chemist, Director of Energy Materials Center of Cornell, Héctor Abruña. Hola, Héctor.
¿Qué tal?
And what is more important, you are the laureate of the Global Energy Prize. How this recognition influenced your professional life over the 2 years?
I will never forget that occasion when we visited Moscow for the prize. It was really extraordinary. Both my wife and I were treated with a level of care and hospitality that you rarely see. And so the prize itself also, reflects, a career of many years. But as I've said at the time, and I'll say now, it's really, I'm the face of the work of a lot of people over 40 years. They're the ones who really deserve the award. And I was the one who was given it, but it was because of all of the amazing work that they have done. I don't know if it was sort of luck, but after that, there was a whole of very fast sequences of awards. So after that point until today, I've gotten like 5 international awards, which is really unbelievable by any metric. That includes the most important award that the Department of Energy gives, which is the Fermi Prize.
So it was kind of a trampoline.
It was the, that's right, that was the taking off, ramp, or the takeoff, for those awards.
Well, you are a rocket yourself.
No, it was really something else. And on top of that, I feel that both my wife and I made, long life friends like you and Sergey and Daniel and everybody else.
Oh, that's very pleasant to hear. What inspired you to focus on career on electrochemistry and on energy research?
And so my going into electrochemistry it was basically when I was an undergraduate student. I had a professor who I took a course from, and I learned that his field was electrochemistry, and I said, that sounds interesting. And so I've been, in electrochemistry probably since 1972, 73 when I was an undergrad, so about over half a century. And then once you study electrochemistry, it's at the center of many energy-related disciplines, be it energy conversion, energy storage, solar energy. All of these things have, at the most fundamental, electrochemical processes.
What scientific problems, or better to say projects, you are focused on right now?
And so right now we do a lot of work in my labs on fuel cells, which are systems that use hydrogen as a fuel to generate electricity. Traditionally, those employ very expensive metals like platinum, palladium, rhodium. What we're trying to do is achieve the same level of performance, but by using very low-cost materials. So in the lingo of chemistry, first-order transition metals, things like cobalt, manganese, iron, nickel. The thing is that the traditional fuel cells operate at very acidic environments, and these other metals are not stable there. So we have to operate at alkaline or high pH environments. And so the name of the center that I lead is Center for Alkaline-Based Energy Solutions, because we look at those processes at high pH. And we've been able to make very significant progress. We're now very close to the same performance metrics that systems in acidic systems have. We're very, very proud of that.
You can boast off a bit.
No, but again, it's the work of many people over, in this case, we've been working on this for the last 8 years.
What are the biggest challenges in the energy sector that you can identify right now?
Are you talking about scientific challenges?
Scientific challenges.
Because I'll also add that many of the challenges are social and political, not scientific. What we would like to be able to do is develop our technologies to make fuel cells more efficient, and I think we're doing very well there. Then the reverse of a fuel cell is called an electrolyzer. So an electrolyzer takes electricity and makes hydrogen and oxygen. That's a bit more difficult process. We're just beginning to understand that if we can get or make electrolyzers at a performance metric that's comparable to what we have in fuel cells, that will dramatically affect the energy landscape worldwide.
How important is international cooperation in this connection?
I think it's absolutely critical. I mean, like any discipline, it's the effort of a lot of people. I mean, our group contributes a little bit. In this center that I lead, we have 15 different, professors. About half of them at Cornell, other people at Princeton and Penn State and so forth. And then outside of the U.S., we have very strong collaborations with laboratories in China, particularly Wuhan University. And so those things, it's really the integrated or the combined efforts of all of those people who really pushes those technologies forward.
What about Latin America? We are in Quito, Ecuador.
Yes. And so, I mean, unfortunately, scientific developments in Latin America have not been the same as, let's say, Europe or Asia. But I have some good collaborations actually in Brazil, in Ribeirão Preto, also in other places in the state of São Paulo. And so we are also continuing those efforts. It's a little bit slower, and then there's more, let's say, political barriers to overcome. But I'm a very firm believer that the development of those emerging countries will be absolutely critical, and that's where the future really lies, because advances in other, let's say, other continents will be incremental. In these places, it'll be just, quantum-like. It'll be jumps, not little steps.
May I say that you are not only the scientist, but you are practical because you are implementing your research. You are the founder of Abruña Initiative, right?
Yes, I mean, even though we do fundamental research, deep down, I think that it should be good for something. And also, we do research using basically taxpayers' money. We should, have a response to when they ask, why should the government, support your work? And so, even though sometimes it takes a little bit long from the laboratory to the application, but when you see what you do in practice, in real life, that's enormously powerful. And the Abruña Energy Initiative is a good example of that.
It is also a good example because it is a regional story, right?
It's a regional story. It's where I'm from. It also addresses the energy needs of isolated communities, which are almost universally forgotten by everybody. And so they're not forgotten to me.
What would you like to say to your colleagues to inspire them to win the Global Energy Prize, to try to contest?
Try to do the most creative thing that you can think of, not the safest thing. And if there'll be some bumps on the road, but I think the payout is much more impressive, because then you're pursuing something that you're convinced requires a solution rather than saying something that will work.
Creativity is a rare quality for a scientist.
No, you have to be. I mean, you cannot play it safe. I think that's a huge mistake, and I think it's one that young scientists now are making a little too frequently, because they feel if they know an area and they continue in that with incremental advances, that to me is not what science should be.
Thank you, Héctor.
Thank you very much for your time.